Welcome to the Toke&Trans. What do I say? Welcome to the Toke&Trans podcast, where we talk life, love, and getting high. Grab a J and join us. We do not condone the consumption of illicit activities with anyone under the age of 21.
Welcome to the Toke&Trans podcast. It's your boy, Bo.
With your boy, Aaron. We're just here fucking around, having a good day today. And we wanted to hang out with you guys. Thank you for joining us today. Bo is featured in his new stew, Dio, featuring
My little office.
Yes, he is working it, loving it. I wanted to make sure to, we wanted to make sure and do an episode about dysphoria fighting tips. Dysphoria and being trans blends in a lot of situations for a lot of people, and we wanted to kind of talk about what dysphoria is, its impact on trans people, maybe strategies to cope, self-care.
Yeah, dude.
What do you think, dude?
Yes, bro. I think yes.
I think
the first thing that we need to know is what dysphoria is.
the actual
A lot of people get it mixed up with dysmorphia.
Ooh, that's true.
Which is a different thing.
Please put on a clinic for me, would you?
So dysphoria is defined as a general state of feeling uneasy, unhappy, or unwell. That's dysphoria. And dysphoria in and of itself can have causes that range from being chronically ill, mental illness, disease, or some kind of gender identity, or dissociative disease.
Mm-hmm.
The dysphoria that we're going to be talking about today specifically is gender dysphoria, which is a feeling of general unease in regards to feeling a disconnect between your assigned gender at birth and the gender that you feel that you are or lack thereof.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it right there. My God.
Yeah. So I also want to mention that if you experience dysphoria, you should make an appointment with your doctor if you experience any of the following symptoms. If you feel hopeless, worthless, or guilty. If you lose interest in the things you used to enjoy. If you notice an appetite or weight change. If you experience sleep pattern changes, have difficulty concentrating, feeling uneasy, agitated, or making impulsive decisions, please contact your doctor, seek therapy. These are things that you can be helped dealing with if it's an emergency situation for you.
Yeah, definitely.
That being said, let's talk about ways that we fight this sneaky little devil gender dysphoria.
Sneaky little bastard. It
You know, of
really
course,
is.
it's
It's
different
just kind
for
of like
everybody.
a constant like check and keeping them in check and watching them seeing where they are and keeping that at bay.
Yeah. Yeah, it ebbs and it flows. Like sometimes I'm totally cool. Like even before I got top surgery, sometimes it was like, whatever, tits out, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I'm going to the dollar store, tits out, bro.
I have to go to DG.
Right. Like I give a fuck about what you, like whatever. I don't care. So it's that, but then it's also like, I'm going to rip these off of my skin.
Don't look at me. Yeah.
Don't perceive me.
Don't perceive me at all right now. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Yeah. So, obviously binding.
Yeah.
Helped me. But specifically non-compression binding trans tape.
Right.
Was really the game changer for me.
Yeah. Definitely.
Also for packing too, because as a big fucking sweaty guy, just like straps and more layers and like that's not where it's at. Right. So the strapless situation with trans tape, like that was just, whew.
Yeah. Taking
So
away the
good.
straps did a lot for me too. Because like dysphoria is like, I don't know, it was just so much worse with the binder, the compression situation for me too. And then when I started, at first I used KT tape, and then I switched to trans tape once I realized that that was like an actual solution that people did to ease my dysphoria. It did help a lot, and it didn't. I didn't take mine away completely, but it made it to where it, like, instead of it being like way too hard to live like this, it was like way easier to live like this. So it did make a big difference for me too.
100% agreed. Nailed it. Yeah.
Dysphoria for me looks like digging through 1,000 of my shirts and knowing that all of them are like not going to fit right, or like none of them are going to fit me the way I want them to fit me that day, or I think they will fit me, and then I try them on and take them off, just like digging through all the clothes, trying to find the right one.
Yeah.
Frustration, that kind of with that.
Fucking felt, bro.
Yes. Yes.
It's fucking felt. I have such a range of sizes in my closet. Which is a good tip, like I go from like actually fitting me to fucking 5 sizes too big.
7X, like way too big.
And all the sizes in between.
I usually order.
Yeah. Cause it's like some days what is really affirming to me, especially now since top surgery, but also before top surgery when I had trans tape, I wore them tight ass shirts.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Fucking sometimes that's what I want. And like trans tape gave me a smooth silhouette that I felt comfortable with and made me look fucking buff so it made my chest go forward. Right. My shoulders went back and my posture fucking changed, which is an item on my list. Changing your posture.
Looking up. Yes.
Yeah. Looking up and fucking putting your chest out. Like,
bro,
it's the thing that I was most concerned about. And I wouldn't say that my dysphoria is gone now because I still have the voice dysphoria, but my physical dysphoria about my body is pretty much gone since top surgery, and trans tape really did help with that because I wasn't expecting to be flatter than I was with trans tape after top surgery, and it turns out that I am, but I felt like I was as flat as I was going to get with trans tape. So putting on a tight ass fucking shirt made me like puff up my chest more and like get big like a bear.
Exactly. I hated my shirts so bad being tight around my chest in high school even. And I was like, I would like walk around and my strategy was to keep my chin up. So I literally cannot see them because I'm looking straight. It's like maybe peripheral at the most, but I try to keep it at the edge of my peripheral. So I never would look down. That was just my strategy. Just they're not there. I'm not looking at them. I freaking refuse. That's just what I would do for a while, I guess. And it ended up being like a strategy that helped.
Yeah. Seriously, it really does help. And, especially because a lot of the time you're hunched over because you're trying to, hide your chest, or you've been wearing a binder and that freaking sucks your posture away, So you got, even if you might not feel as confident as putting your chest forward or your chin up makes you look, faking it till you make it is fucking legit.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
You have to trick yourself into thinking we can do this, even when you feel like you can't do this, because it can be frustrating when you're like trying to get dressed or trying to feel good about yourself. So those things are vital in helping like keep it at bay, keeping It's like if it was constantly snowing. I was like thinking about this reference. I was going to do a video about it on my YouTube. It's been on my list of like create for forever, but it was like an analogy of like snowing, like when it's constantly snowing outside. Like that's just like, and you have to keep like the shoveling, you have to keep shoveling out the front door and like keeping it away to get out the house, do the things you're supposed to be doing. But if you're not shoveling and keep like, you have to consistently shovel, because if you don't, it will just keep stacking up and stacking up. And if you're not,
it's just going to get harder to shovel the longer you wait to shovel.
Exactly. And then it's just going to stack up. And that's how people end up being really depressed and things. And a lot of times, it can take it takes an impact on your regular life and your social life. And that's just like, yeah. So trying to keep it at bay is key with different products or like community in general. A lot of times, like finding your best man, your best pal, your best person, your best woman, the best person, me and Bo, you know how we do it. But having someone that understands what you're actually going through.
Yes, that was also on my list, bro.
Oh, tell me about it.
I said, hanging out with affirming friends.
Yeah.
That makes so much difference. Oh my God.
Even if it's once a year, people, it doesn't have to be like being social is fucking hard. Like it's fucking hard, especially with people that you don't know. So you have to like go even out of your box to find those friends and those good people that are like, end up being, but like once a year, like try to get yourself, like if it's Pride, even if something to try to find someone that you can talk to, be comfortable with.
Even, weekly Skype calls or fucking Skype. What am I? A fucking millennial? Fucking, I don't know. Fucking FaceTime, whatever the fuck we do now.
Yeah, video each other.
Yeah, just like, it's so important. Community is so important. And like having somebody that understands what you're going through, and you can be like, hey, I'm feeling like, have you ever felt like, and then, all of a sudden the thing that you thought was so fucking weird about you is normal. And
oh my God.
We
spent hours being like, oh my God, did you do this? Oh my God. Like talking about bottom growth and just like our voices and tea and like when coming out to family and like all these different things. We're just like, no way, you did that too. Oh my God. And you think that there's just like no one like you out there. And then you meet these people that are like almost like identical in such a strange way. And you're just mind blowing, but it makes you feel less alone.
Yes, it's so, nothing is so comforting than the fact that you're not different from anybody fucking else, You're just the same amount of basic bitch as the rest of us.
Me?
There's something, no, just like you in general.
Oh, okay.
Like everybody.
Yeah.
You being trans is the least interesting thing about you.
Like there's so many trans people in the world. Like that's not like, I see what you're saying.
There's as many trans people in the world as there are redheads. And like
yeah. So keep that.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, exactly. It's just, they want us to feel so different. They want us to feel so othered, and like our experiences are so like demonic or some shit, or like,
right.
I don't fucking know, but we just talk to somebody else. Just talk to any trans person.
Yeah.
And we're going to have the same fucking silly ass stories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's an interesting journey. And like I found myself like talking to people like, and I didn't have someone that I knew about these things. I just had started to figure out via the internet that there was words for how I was feeling. And so I wanted to talk to a counselor about it. And I ended up having to go, I like went online and went to like, I think it's like Psychology Today or some crap. And you like look it in, and then you can filter by what you want them to be specialized in, and it'll do it by your area. And I found one in Eugene that did gender affirming counseling. And I saw that they were like versed in that. And so I told my dad, I want to see a counselor. and I want to pick the counselor. And he's like, okay. So I was like, well, this is the one I choose. And like, she had a long list of things, and that was just on the list. So my dad, so even earlier, I was able to like, kind of start talking to them. And like that lady is where I was able, after a couple months, when I was starting to think about gender identity, I knew I could bring it up in a safe space. And she, like, I was very sheltered, so I didn't learn all of these things. And I felt like it was a safe space for me to ask all of these questions and what they all mean and how do I know this or that, and be able to talk all of those things out with someone who's versed in those things and that knows exactly how to like explain, but also affirm you and how you are feeling and your individual feelings, and not just like group you into a main group of people. Like, so I feel like, yeah, I feel like that was a big change for me. It was talking to someone professionally. I did.
That's great. Yeah. I also did. I did. So I didn't come out till I was 22. I didn't see a professional until what it was like 24, 26, something like that. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I went was because I was like preemptively thinking, because I have, I had no information about how to proceed with a top surgery, or starting hormones or anything like that. I didn't know what I had to do. Right. And in little old Delaware. And so I found a place called Camp Rehoboth. And Rehoboth is like southern Delaware, and it's colloquially known as Rehomo, because that's where all the gays are.
Yeah.
And all the gay bars and all that stuff. And so they have Camp Rehoboth is like a free queer clinic.
Mm-hmm. That's dope.
And so they offered gender confirmation appointments. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking I kept reading that was something that I might need. So I was like, let me get it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I just have it. And so I went to this guy, and my therapist's name was Sal, and they're board certified, and it needed a couple appointments so that he could like build a relationship. Mm-hmm. And so it was like 3 appointments, and he had questions about my childhood and all that, and like when I started to question my identity and like things that I'm looking back on now that might have confirmed things or whatever, Right. And I'm telling him everything, and I'm also terrified that I'm going to get told I'm not trans.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm like, if I'm not trans, then what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm also worried about this. And I tell him that. And then, he's like, I can't give you the letter yet. We have to build a relationship or whatever. But he said, it sounds like you have you've had an experience that's typical of most transgender people.
Yeah.
And it sounds to me like you are who you say that you are. And after these appointments, I will be able to give you your letter. And so, that I went live on Facebook, and I sobbed. And
oh my God.
And I was like, it's a boy. I'm a boy.
Oh my gosh.
It was like, I didn't need it.
Right.
I was identifying as a man that whole time.
Yeah.
I did it because I thought I would need it. But just to hear somebody who went to school for like 12 years.
Yeah.
Sat in front of me, listened to me spill my guts, tell my whole entire life story, and then said, yeah.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's you.
That's right.
It was just like, oh boy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh my God. Like, you couldn't tell me shit. You couldn't tell me shit. Like, somebody could have been like, yeah, well, you're a woman. I'm like, yeah, bitch, here's my letter.
Here's my letter.
Fucking read it.
You know what this means? Yeah. No, for real. And that's so affirming. And I think that's another key to having to getting this stuff, getting through this and getting this done is finding the things that make you feel the most affirmed. And by affirmed, that means you personally, what makes you personally feel like a badass motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right. Like as good, like good on the inside. Like makes you how would you describe your gender being affirmed, Bo? How do you explain that?
Well, okay, so it changed so much for me over the years. As you can tell,
that
where
I want to know
is a little different than,
tell me about this.
Where it was before. So when I first started my gender journey, it was like masculine up to here, like
high
no
on the
makeup,
masculine.
fucking like button up collared shirts and like those fucking ugly ass golf shorts. Like my sense of fashion went out the window. And all I did was dress like men who golf, like fathers who golf. And I don't know why that was my aesthetic. There was literally so many different ways I could go.
You could have went with that, but you liked it though, didn't you? You felt good.
I felt good at the time. Now I'm looking back at pictures of me like, oh my God.
I think everybody does that no matter how badass they feel at the time. Like
you couldn't have told me shit.
Yeah, exactly. Those shorts were fire.
With my Sperry topsiders. Woo!
Let's go, bro.
Couldn't tell me shit.
And then when did it start to evolve?
It started to evolve when I started taking testosterone.
Yeah, which was how long ago? Math.
2018.
5 years. Almost 5 years.
It'll be 5 years this October. Okay.
Hey.
So yeah, once I started testosterone, that's when things kind of like everything changed.
Right.
Everything changed when the testosterone nation attacked. So, I kind of like, I was feeling more like, even if it wasn't affecting me yet, I was just like, 1 hour's on tea, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was just making me feel so much better. So I was like, you know what? This is temporary because a beard's about to come in, shit's about to drop. You're about to, none of you bitches are going to be able to misgender me for long. So
on my way.
Better enjoy it while you can.
Oh my God.
So
I love it.
I was like, I was like over people misgendering me at work. I worked retail and it was just like, okay, yeah, sure. Bam. Fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. You got like 6 months left of this bitch tops before you start him and me. So
and then you make no sense. Yeah, exactly. Right. Then you'll see.
You look fucking dumb. So then I started getting more confident again with makeup, but it wasn't so much like glamour makeup as like, kind of like natural makeup, I would say. And I would thicken up my eyebrows and like draw in more beard hair. Yeah. And mustaches and stuff. Mm-hmm. And now, a little contour.
Sure.
A little natural. Like it was obvious I was wearing makeup, but it was very mask of me. Very butch,
Why not?
Then I started getting more like androgynous, I feel like, after several months on T. Just a lot more tighter fitting. Mm-hmm. And
so with your clothes.
I would say a lot of like small shirt, big pants energy,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I was known to do a crop top.
Yes.
With like, big baggy pants,
Sure.
A little fishy androgyny. Mm-hmm, and like these days I'm like in leopard biker print biker shorts, leopard biker shorts in my Powerpuff Girl flowery pink office
Yes.
And, sometimes I walk out looking like a 67-year-old lobsterman. And sometimes I walk out looking like I just hopped out of the Sanrio store. And both of those things are affirming to me.
Valid. So. And valid, yes.
What about you?
I love that.
What does yours look like?
What does well, I mainly all through like middle school and high school, I always wore basketball shorts. I was basketball shorts with sweatpants. And then probably once a year I would do the whole thing. I would pretty much go to school in a costume, and people would be like, oh my God, pretty much just to remind these bitches that I was bad, I guess.
Oh, you gotta let them know.
People stared at me. I was weird. I mean, like there was not a lot of people like me, even identifying as a lesbian. And if they're gonna stare, give them something to look at. So I gave them something to look at. And everyone would be like, oh my God, oh my gosh, you look so good. Why don't you dress like that all the time? I'd get like comments from like guys walking down the hallway and shit. And I'd just be like, this makes no fucking sense. Like I put different clothes on and you guys all act like this, but like I felt bad yesterday in my Jordan sweatsuit. No one said shit. Like what's wrong with you guys? So I don't know. I was just so confused by that. So every once in a while, and no one said like, you look great today in my Jordan sweatsuit. No one said you look good today with your hair in a bun like that. Like slick back so you can barely see it. Like no one said that stuff to me. And so every once in a while, I would just dress up to do it. And then the rest of the time I was just back to being me. And it's really funny because me and my wife were talking about this a couple of days ago. And I knew my wife when I would come to when I come to school dressed up randomly like this. And she said that I was like the most like the most manliest dude in a girl's outfit, because you could tell I felt like it was a costume, and like you could tell me coming through was like that I didn't feel comfortable in it, like, and all these things. And but then she was like, but your butt looks good or some crap like that, and I was like, stop, this makes me so uncomfortable. And like we were just like, it's just so funny to like see how like people would react to me based on what I was wearing in those times and stuff. So after I think I went to my my cousin's house and I got like soaked, and I had to change my clothes. And so I had to borrow some of his shorts, and all he had were cargo shorts. So I was like, all right, I'll put them on, whatever. So I'm like changing in his bedroom, and I'm like putting on the cargo shorts, and I look in the mirror and I just felt bad, bro. I felt bad. I was like, this is me. These cargos are me right now. I look so good. And I was so excited.
His cargo shorts era.
Bro, I'm still in my cargo shorts era. I still wear them. So yes. So needless to say, I never gave him the cargos back. He never got those back. But and then like a couple months later, it was Christmas, and my mom sent me a gift card, and me and my mom for Christmas or whatever, like trying to stay in my life. And me and my mom are not close and all these things, and like hated the way that I was, and would send me like all these girl things, like hoping that I would, be more girly and stuff. So she sent me this gift card for Walmart, because I wasn't talking to her. I didn't tell her what I wanted or anything. And so I went to Walmart and I bought my first pair of dude jeans from the dudes section, with that $20 gift card at Walmart. And I literally came home from that, and I was like, I have these jeans and these cargos, and I took all my girl clothes and put them in a giant bag and threw them out like in the garage, and was like, fuck I'm never wearing that stuff again. My dad's like, what are you doing? These are like expensive clothes. Like this is like everything, half the stuff you own. Like I'm like, no, that's half the stuff that stays in the closet, bro. Like that stuff is I'm not wearing that anymore. Like I found my shit, and this is my shit. And I just stayed that way the whole after that. I found that unlock, and that was a big affirmation for me for my gender, was finding the right clothes that fits and feels good.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. And like in the same sense, like bottom dysphoria, a lot of people use Packers, right? So there's like you can find affirmation in different things.
Yeah, or like a cologne.
Yes. Cologne.
That was another thing. I switched. Okay. I wish you could smell me right now.
I wish you could just smell through the speaker.
Because right now wait, let me get it.
Get it?
Strawberry. What is it? Strawberry shortcake from Bath and Body Works. Thank you very much. I smell like a dessert. I love it so much.
That's the key. Yes.
So when you look at this pink room, know that it tastes pink.
It tastes like a strawberry.
Yes. But before, back when I was in my golf dad era, I loved like man scents, but specifically like wood.
Yeah.
Cedar
wood. Bro, that's literally my cologne is called cedarwood. Kayla got it for me for Christmas.
It's so fucking good. You cannot go wrong with the cedarwood.
Yeah, man, y'all try that.
I had this one cologne. It was like fucking it was like some kind of maple bourbon or maple whiskey.
Okay.
Oh, listen, I went to Walmart to pick up some Tupperware.
Yeah.
The day I got that cologne, and I was like, let me show up at Walmart. All right,
I'm ready.
Just show up. So,
yeah.
So, I looked nice, business casual.
Yeah.
My khakis and my Dockers belt and my tucked in button down shirt, smelling like maple whiskey, walking down the Tupperware aisle. And I'm walking past a sweet little grandma in the scooter.
Yeah.
I walked past her and she said, I know that's not you smelling that good.
Oh my God.
Ma'am, I'm sorry to say, but I think that it is. You can't tell me nothing that day.
God, Bo.
Grandma said I smelled good.
I love that. No, that's true. You get that new cologne and that does give you a fresh scent. It don't matter which scent you go for. You find the scent that is you and you wear that shit.
It's so good.
Something else that helps is those positive affirmations, Bo. I know that was on your list.
Oh, yeah.
You tell me about your experience with positive affirmations.
Okay. So I used to think it was the stupidest fucking thing.
Yeah, let's get real about it. I mean,
I'm like, yeah. And when I went to therapy, my therapist told me to do it. And I was like, this is fucking
that's
dumb.
What you're going to say. I thought you might say this.
Right. So I'm like, this is fucking dumb. Like, what am I going to, I'm just going to look at myself in the mirror and be like, you're pretty, you're smart, you're like, it sounds fake. Like, right.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe it yet.
Yeah.
It's fucking dumb and silly. It seems like a performative fucking, it's like cringy to me.
Yeah.
And so she sells
on the seashore.
She told me to try Post-its, leaving little Post-it notes for myself when I feel good about myself, to write them and then just leave them places.
Give me one.
So then it feels like less. And then it feels like less of a lie because I wrote it when I felt good, when I felt that it was true. And then I left it for me to read when I didn't believe it. And I could be like, okay, well, I felt that before, I guess.
I wasn't lying.
I wasn't lying when I wrote
it.
Yeah. So,
that is so good.
And it's also a reminder of the cycle of emotions. Like, it's okay to feel this way because I was there before, and
up and down.
So, yeah, and it doesn't have to be anything like, if you really fucking hate yourself right now, you don't have to fucking love yourself right now. If you fucking hate yourself right now, you could just be like, hey, you're not the worst.
You're average.
You're average.
You're all right.
You're no better or no worse than anybody else on this planet.
Yeah.
You round up to the next dollar sometimes and give to the charity at the grocery store.
Cool.
You know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know, think of something good to say about yourself. Think of something neutral to say about yourself. Write it on a post-it note when you believe it. Leave it when you're going to see it. And, you know, if the talking to yourself in the mirror thing works, sometimes I kind of disassociate when I look at myself too long. But, you know, that might help. I don't know.
I don't know. Try it.
Try it.
I totally agree. My biggest thing for affirmations, I found that it came so naturally when I found the right song. And then what happens is, like how you said, it feels performative. So I put on a performance, Bo. It is a whole thing. If I'm feeling like I need to feel like, if I'm getting myself like pumped up for like a big video call or something that I'm stressed out about, like a big video, like business conference or something that's online, and I was like, have to turn my camera on, I'm getting nervous, I'll put on like some mad, like Russ, like some rap, and I'm like getting it. I'm like getting into it about it. And it's like talking about like me and I got this and I'm your boy. And like, you know, whatever it is about these different, and it's like different verses and it's fast, like the way that I think. And so that's probably my favorite way to do affirmations is through music. And then
I love that.
with, even if it's just like a mirror this big, man, you just like, you look right in your eyes and you tell yourself that as if what it was, you know, that Mary Poppins trick, and where, you know, the mirror is moving and she's not. And that was like revolutionary at that time. You just like put on, I feel like I'm just like putting on this character for the other side of the mirror that I know that I need to look back at me, even though I'm the one doing the damn thing. So I would definitely try music.
Yeah. I love that. That's great. I love that performance thing because it's fun.
Yeah, it makes it more fun. And then, you know, it like a lot of times it rhymes. And so it's even more satisfying, right?
Yeah.
You're dancing and that feels good, even if no one else is, even, it doesn't matter what it looks like. You can just look like, you know, a starfish. It doesn't matter. Like, you're going to, the whole point is to get yourself feeling more affirmed and feeling more positive and keeping that dysphoria snow at bay.
Yeah, absolutely. And over time, that the path that you're carving in the snow, eventually it's going to stop snowing and you're going to have that path that you don't have to work on anymore.
Right.
And, you know, you might have to put some salt down every once in a while when it starts to snow, but that path is there. And the path is you actually rebuilding neurons in your brain and rebuilding connections that you didn't have before. That's why these repetitive things and things that might seem silly are actually kind of a big deal and are kind of important in mental health. And, you know, that fake it till you make it mindset is pretty legit. I was not, like, people say, oh, I wish I had your confidence. Oh, I wish you know, you're so brave. You're so confident. Like,
dude, what do you mean? I hate to tell you this, but I'm not. Like,
it just kind of took a lot of work to just be like, fuck it. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, they're already looking, give them something to look at. Like,
give them something.
Keep your chin up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, otherwise you're just constantly freaking out. I was like a lot of bullying, like in high school. That's where I came through that, you know, like, is being like, they're already looking at me. They're already staring at me on the softball field because I look different. Like, I act different. They can already tell I'm different. So I might as well be really fucking good. So they have no choice but to high five me when I save their ass and catch this ball. Like, you know, like you just have to change, like, literally the perspective was the only way that I could make it through mine, because it could be tough to do those things. You know, if practice is like on the field or on the court or, you know, at band is when you feel the worst, I would literally show up with my headphones in blasting The Motto by Drake. And that was my song. And I would literally just listen, walking up to it with it, just totally getting it done and trying to convince myself that it doesn't matter and I'm bad either way. Like, you have to try to keep it back.
Yes, sir. Oh my God. I love that so much. And like, I think that Man, you'd said something before, and I'm stoned, and I meant to say what I was gonna say.
No, you're good. I literally
because you said that.
I had to write something down while you were talking, so I didn't forget to say it.
Oh my god, you're so fucking smart! I have
Dude,
a pen and paper right here.
This podcast is getting regular. We are getting a good flow down nowadays.
I wanted to say that now, obviously, my expression is a lot more girly than it ever was before, and I feel more confident enjoying these things now publicly,
right?
Because I'm no longer getting labeled as a girl for enjoying them,
right?
You know, like whatever, I'm gay, like whatever, I'm an effeminate gay man, like even if I wasn't, I always call myself gay, I'm bisexual, so let me not erase myself, so
yourself even.
I know. So I'm bisexual. So like I'm an effeminate bisexual man, and I like these pink things. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
Like Jaden Smith likes pink.
Like let's go. That's,
yeah.
Like, so what advice would you give your like younger self that's like so say you're like pre-T and you really want, like you have feelings like you want your room to look like yours, but you feel like your room has to look like mine.
Yeah.
You feel like it has to look this way in order to get these things. Like, even though you may want pink, or like not in my situation, but there are people that feel like it has to be masculine only.
Yeah.
To be able
honestly,
how can they encourage themselves to explore it?
If I was talking to little Beau, decorating his little room with all the raw wood and dark greens.
Stop this. He is calling me out.
The fuck? The three
Y'all
different
can't see
shades
the wood
of
accents
gray.
in this office.
No.
But you didn't want that.
I did. Well, it's not that I didn't want it. You know, I would say that Beau at the time wanted that.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
and I would still like, you know, I don't know. I didn't have Pinterest, but if I had Pinterest and you looked at my Pinterest, it would look like this.
Yeah.
You know, even though I was decorating my room one type of way, and it all comes down to perception, because my goal at the time was to be perceived the way that I wanted to be perceived.
The thing. I feel like most people, especially early in their trans exploration or journey, they're like being perceived and what you pass as is like the most important thing on the list. You wake up and go to sleep trying to get other people to see you a certain way, and that breaks my freaking heart. I mean, we did the same thing. I did the same thing, and people are still doing the same thing. But it sucks that it can come down to other people's perception instead of just doing what you want to do.
Yeah, it's so multifaceted. And this is what I love, the nuance of transness. I love that we can have these conversations.
Yeah.
If there was a way for me to have like my perception room,
right,
and then like my comfort room,
right,
that would have been great. If there was because you know how I dressed at home, like being comfy at home, I'd wear my big fluffy strawberry hoodie, and you know, no binding at all, and I might play around with more crazy makeup at home, but I'm not going out like that, you know. So like, I guess in that sense, it comes down to comfort. I wasn't comfortable. I was still expressing myself in these ways, just not publicly, because I wasn't comfortable with the thought of the way that might change people's perception of me.
Right.
When now, 32-year-old Beau now, like I understand that none of that changed anyone's perception of me.
Right.
Nothing. Not the way I dressed, not the way I smelled, not the way I cut my hair, not the way I changed my posture, not the way I screamed into a pillow as long as I could, as loud as I could, so that my voice would get raspy and deep. None of these things changed how other people perceived me. I think that is really important to understand. because the effort was futile, even though it was like my main goal. And, you know, like you said, you wake up and you go to sleep trying to do this. It's like, no one, it's like, it doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
Someone's going to hear you talk, look at you. They're going to decide in half a second what pronouns they're going to call you and how they're going to perceive you.
What they choose.
Right. And it doesn't matter what you're dressed as, what your haircut looks like, what you smell like, what nothing. And it's unfortunate.
My mother will look me dead in the eye and say she. It does.
Right,
okay. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like what?
Looking like how you look.
Because like you as a person, like you like your happiness, like they don't have to live in your life. They don't have to be you every single day. They either see you sometimes at work or they see you sometimes on holidays, but they don't see and have to be you every single day of every single minute. And that was a big game changer for me when I decided that I wanted to tell other people about me being trans and not just being interested in women. It was because at the end of the day, I had to sit here and be sitting with myself. I had to wear the jeans that made me feel uncomfortable. You guys didn't have to wear those, even though you know, my Nana's thing back in the day, which was terrible, but it's better to look good than to feel good. Like, and I would tell her, I don't want to wear those. Like, it's not like this makeup is so annoying. Like she would just be like, no, like that was like the motto, you know, that's just what you're taught. But those things are, and now we're trying to unlearn those things that we have accidentally learned either by other people by accident or on purpose by ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of repetition to unlearn that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's super important. And, you know, if you're unable to do these things on your own, there's no shame in the asking for help game.
Zero
shame.
If anything, if there is a minute 0.001% chance of you being that much happier, even by having one conversation with a professional or with a friend, or if you join one Facebook group or one DM, like it can help even so much more than that. So even if there's a chance, I would encourage you to just try it just one time and see if it helps. See if it helps your dysphoria by talking to somebody else and seeing that there's a lot of experiences that are like yours and some that are not, but then are also like enlightening that help you relate. Yeah. So that's what we got for you guys today. That's our dysphoria tips. If you have any thoughts, if you have any tips that help you, I'm sure we have a lot more we didn't get to, because we're living in these bodies every freaking day, and we're constantly doing things to feel sexy in them that we are now, and that we feel good, and we encourage you to feel good because you are sexy. Being trans is sexy. Being trans is beautiful. Being trans is a gift in many ways, and we need to find the ways to perceive ourselves with those gifts.
We're fucking sacred,
bro. It's key. It's key. Let's go.
Let's go. And you know what? They want us to be miserable so bad. They want us to hate ourselves so bad. They want us. You know what is the one thing I get all the time? Kill yourself.
My God.
You know, fucking 41%, you know, they're like, oh, 41%. Like, yeah, that's the rate at which trans people who aren't affirmed unsubscribe from life, you know? So like, I'm gonna choose not to. I'm gonna be the happiest I've ever been in your fucking face.
Yeah. I'm gonna be happy as fuck. And that's how you win. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anything else. It doesn't matter what other people perceive you as. It doesn't matter how much money you have, what your title is, what kind of car you drive. None of these things matter.
I'm speaking from a place of privilege. There's lots of things that there's lots of things that contribute to happiness, and you know, me saying like, oh, I just choose to be happy is like completely ignoring the fact that people can live in like, you know, unhoused situations or like not have food security and stuff like that. And those are not reasons to be happy. But in your transness, in your only the trans aspect of your life, or if you're not trans, whatever gender identity aspect of your life, choose to be happy in that. Choose to be joyful that you're trans. And not like, it's not a curse. It may feel like one right now, but that's not your fucking problem. That's the world's problem. You can be happy with who you are. And you deserve to be happy with who you are, because who you are is sacred and beautiful, and we love you.
And you can be hella successful. Last thing I was thinking, like, I was thinking, like, me and my wife are about to we're gonna have a baby, and so fucking baby. I'm gonna be a fucking dad, and there's a lot of things I'm like worried about becoming a trans dad for another episode. But I was trying to think of all of the ways, like, if my baby were to be a girl, I would be able to understand my daughter so much more than the average cis father could. Like, I know what it's like to start your period in class and be embarrassed. Like, I know what it's like to cramp so bad you're just like crying and rocking yourself. And so I'm trying to, like, that's another way, like, like I was explaining my perspective thing. Like, you have to find those golden nuggets and those Easter eggs, and then just fucking hold on to that right there, and understand that is a gift, and that is one of the W's. There's some L's that you feel a lot, but you have to look at those W's.
Like, yes, dude. Like, you can be, as a trans man, we are kind of automatically better equipped to be better allies for women, for cis women and trans women alike.
Perspective,
right, from that perspective, most of us have lived experience as a girl or woman at some point, and better equipped to be fathers. Fathers of girls, of cis girls, or assigned female at birth children.
Sure.
Yeah, because you can better understand it's not one of those conversations you have to assign to the mother.
Yeah, exactly. Like you would never hear the dad say anything about a period. Like, that's not how it's going to be at our house, I
hear Reddit stories of these, oh my God, of like fathers with daughters who have there was one who got mad. He got mad at her for starting her period and not holding it in. And I was
oh my God. See,
so that's something that we won't do.
That we wouldn't run into that problem. That's for damn. No, so find those Easter eggs, hang on to them, keep the W close to you, and if you're feeling a lot of L's lately, reach out to somebody, reach out to a group, DM us, and I hope you're having a badass day. I hope you finish having a badass day, and if you're not having a badass day, make it badass as much as you can, because you are badass, and we will see you in the next episode.
In the next one. Bye.
Bye now.